Welcome back. It's pretty much old home night here on the Mountain Views program because, first and foremost, I've cured my my pneumonia during the commercial break, so I will be able to continue campaigning for the presidency of the United States and hosting this television program. Tonight on the show, we're going to talk about a brand new film that is certainly getting a lot of buzz, not only here in Utah, which is really its spiritual home, but also in the larger media landscape, and I'm very excited about that, of course. We're starting to turn the seasons. We're heading toward the Sundance Film Festival, so it's time to talk more and more about film, and especially film here in Utah. I am joined by the writer and director, Isaac Halasima, and one of the stars of the film, my homie and fantastic actor, Landon Henneman, also known as Lando Henno. This is The Last Descent. What's up, boys?
Hi. What's up?
Nice to see you. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah.
Isaac, great to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Labor of love, huh?
Yeah. You just kind of got to just push through if you're going to do at least your first one for sure. So, yeah.
For sure.
Labor of love would be the nice way of putting it, right. I guess. Yeah.
Probably a few fist-shaking moments to the heavens.
At least once a day. Yeah. It's okay, though. It's okay, though. You know, it's been a heck of a process to get through all this and to be able to just get a movie out. You know, I've been doing music videos and commercials and TV shows, but you know, I think most people get into film for that dream, just to chase, you know, just smell some popcorn, drink a Coke, and
absolutely
and watch with the crowd.
And
so.
I'm sure on some level to feel the pressure, because if you're doing commercial work, if you're doing music video work, and you know how to do that, then you're in. You've got a budget or what that process. A little bit more blue sky and unknowns with making a fejust film. Huh?
Yeah, the only thing I think that will catch anybody off guard is when you realize that it's like doing a music video that just never ends. It just keeps going.
One more guitar solo.
Yeah. It's like because like I did the Demons music video for Imagine Dragons, and we did 6 locations in 2 days on that one, and just blasted through that. And just did it. And I was like, oh, I got this. And then we get to this, and it was like, oh, storytelling. You know, now it's
truly
storytelling. So
on a different level.
Yeah. But it's been incredible. You know, and I'm a huge fan of the cinema, and I spend a lot of time studying it because it's almost like a reverence for it. So it's
absolutely
to step into it. I also wanted to make sure I felt ready. So that's why I'm a little bit older going for this. But
right.
But yeah, I'm proud of these guys, especially like a local throwing him in and making him.
I know.
Live up to his star status.
Welcome back, brother.
It's always good to be here.
Good to see you, man. Congratulations. Of course, I haven't seen the full film yet. I've only seen the trailer, but you're looking good, man.
I try. Do what I can.
We beat him up a few times.
Sure.
Set, you know?
It's necessary.
Yeah, it's necessary. But what's nice is just finding the actors that can do it. Like what's great about what we did is it was a really small scale film. It was just a process. So to build a cast, to build a crew, to build everything we had, it was really a team. It felt like we were all in this together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you would talk a little bit about Nutty Putty and talk about the background, your inspiration for looking at this story and saying, I think there's a movie, right? That's the aha moment of filmmaking always to me is the genesis of this would make a great film. And this is how I can do it. Talk about the writing process and development.
Yeah, for me, you know, I've always dreamed of it, so I've always had this folder of just stories I'd love to tell. Like anytime you see something, you chuck it in there. And I think most of us locally especially can remember when this happened in Nutty Putty, because you know it happened during Thanksgiving. It happened at a time when a lot of us would be home, and you know people watch football things, so we catch the news updates. And it's a cave that is beloved in Utah, especially down where I'm from. I'm down in Utah County, where you know that was the date cave, and so everybody wanted to go into that one. And so to know that someone was trapped the way they were, and that it was such an issue to try to rescue him the way he was upside down with one arm up and one arm back, that was a story. But then after, it was finding out about the kind of person he was, and the kind of person he was not only in life, but the kind of person he was in the cave. And that's when it was like, this is a story. And so, you know, fast forward years when I'm sitting down with one of my buddies who's connected with Sundance, you know, and he, you know, we were originally talking, you know, festivals and stuff. He says, well, every good director starts with what they know, which is, your home. And for me, I'm Utah through and through. I'm a Utah kid, born and raised, proud of it, love it. Love being a brown guy from Utah. It's always always nice to have that in there. But yeah, I went back to this one, and the challenge on this one was finding a way to tell a story everyone would know, that could have an inspiring ending, or an ending that they weren't exactly ready for. And so yeah, it took a while. But then once the story came together, once some ideas were put together, wrote a short story version, took it to Emily, the surviving widow, and just kind of pitched it to her, saying, I would love to tell this story, and I have this idea to tell it where people will be inspired by the end. And I would have walked away if she would have said no and just said, okay, I don't want, because it's asking someone to open a wound.
Absolutely.
And she went for it. She liked the idea of using this story to inspire people. And so, yeah, that's what it became, full force, writing, prepping, and then just rewrite, meeting with family, meeting with rescuers, meeting with all sorts of people to make sure that the storyline got facts inside of it.
And talk about that process. As you mentioned, you talked to his widow, but there's a lot of people. This was a real life event. There's a lot of people who were on the scene, and one of the things I wondered about, oftentimes in stories like this, Landon's character is at a composite of multiple people. Talk a little bit about how you kind of make the model work in a way that that may diverge a little bit from the actual events, but your storytelling, not doing a documentary about it.
Yeah, because you have to compress things to make a story and to make it intriguing, and then knowing that this would need to have an ending that would kind of inspire and change. There was things done, like time is compressed, certain events are compressed, but yeah, his character specifically, Landon's character, is, I wanted someone to represent Utah search and rescue. Like I've worked around those guys. I worked in news for years, and so I know just what they go through. I've seen it. I have two of my best friends are police officers and work in those same fields, and it's like they needed someone to represent them. And so what it was taking the small number that were actually able to fit to where John was in the story, and turning them into one person with the personality of a rescue worker. And what's great is I'm able to do my parts to translate what I would do and create motivations, and then I would go to a guy like Landon, and I would be like, okay, now be you in this situation.
Right.
And that's what's fun about it, is to see what your actors get to turn these characters into.
And those are the great moments with a gifted performer, is to see that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that, especially having the chance to see somebody on screen who I'm lucky enough to know in real life and see, to see a little bit of the aspects of the Landon that I know, but also in the context of what if Landon, were in that actual setting, which is fraught with so much tension, so much danger and fear.
Yeah, well, and making sure it's a Utah kid too. I mean, you remember Nutty Putty, right? Like,
I was there when I was younger. I was in there a couple times when I was like a little scout, and when I found out that this was like a real, this story was this story, I was just like, oh dang, because I knew it had happened, but I hadn't heard any detail or anything, but it was resounding to be like, oh wow, I might be a part of this, because like I can envision what it's like down in there,
right?
Like really, and where he went and where he maybe got stuck and all that kind of different stuff. So it was a pretty intense visual in my head.
I was going to say, it must have been a kind of a heavy visualization to go through that process.
It was a heavy film,
It's
you guys, let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We want to watch the trailer and then talk a little bit more about the construction of the film and how you got from first day of production to in the can. The Last Descent. We're going to take a quick break. Landon and Isaac will be back right after this. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. We are discussing a brand new film. We are fortunate that this Utah made and produced film has brought one of their stars and the writer and director of The Last Descent. Isaac and Landon, welcome back. Should we watch the trailer? Caitlin, we got the trailer ready? Let's go to it. This is The Last Descent.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Builds the tension immediately. You can really feel that from just the first frame. I'm sure there were a lot of days and moments and set pieces and scenes that were challenging, memorable to film in such a physical, visceral film. Talk about from both a filmmaker's and a performer's standpoint, particular scenes that were really important to the shooting process because of their difficulty or poignancy or those kinds of things?
Well, we built the part of the cave where John was stuck. We had a rescuer help design it for us and how it was. And one of my favorite parts into it was actually getting Landon going, okay, now you need to look like a rescuer who is easy getting through this thing. And it was his first time busting through that cave, and it was tight. It was super tight, and he was actually the biggest of all our people to crawl through it, even though you tried to lose weight.
I tried.
You shrunk it up.
Too much good food out there.
Well, not a lot to lose either, bro.
All right, fair enough.
The barreling chest, now it's just,
Is he on the bench press?
Okay. But no, watching him crawl through it and really get there, and one thing I liked about the cave we built is that it really did put our actors there pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was having to hang upside down, having to deal with some of the issues with reaching in at certain points. It was I don't know, what'd you think?
Well, when you find out it's a true story and how this all happened, you wouldn't, as an actor, you wouldn't really want it to be any other way than real, and
for sure.
I know Chad appreciated that. He wanted to hang upside down, and I didn't blame him because I could interact with him much more authentically, and we could feed off each other much better, being exhausted and sweating our guts out,
sure.
and I was fine with it.
Yeah,
I was grateful for that.
Except we did almost kill Chad a couple times.
A couple.
Yeah, so, he wouldn't tell us if he got hurt. He Tom Cruised his way through that. He's like, no, I got it, the whole time.
But on some level, isn't that that's the whole point
There's a different
of making this
switch.
film is to experience some of those emotions that, of course, it's acting, and of course, for the most part, your life isn't in jeopardy while shooting the film. But by the same token, that's what makes it.
Nah, you want to complain about your actors pushing hard, rather than trying to push them. And that's what was really nice, especially having a local guy playing such a huge role in this movie. Absolutely. And that kind of thing is because you can internalize a Utah movie. This is a Utah story, but it's a way to show off Utah to the world in a way too, like a side of it that a lot of people don't get.
Of course.
And so even the way the opening credit sequence runs is very gritty. It kind of pulls on my music video background to show off the home I love, but yeah, there's all sorts of scenes. There's even shooting in real caves. There was a real cave down, and I wish I could tell where it is, but the grottos made us swear never to tell people. But
of course.
But we went into these real caves and shot underground, and it was okay, except for the fact that when you ran out of power, you were done. And so we had to...
Or have one take.
Or you would give Landon a take and tell him, hey, no pressure, but this is all you get.
Just make it perfect.
Yeah.
One take, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. You got this. Now pretend like we're not rushing you, okay? Let's go. And that you haven't been sitting in a cave for 11 hours, So
Truly.
It was a heavy task, and a lot of stuff that I think doesn't normally happen in a set with being underground like that. I'm a big fan of natural lighting and very just natural, everything feeling natural. Sure. So everything in the caves is lit with glow sticks and headlamps, and it was people try to do something different. It's like no, that's not a cave. Right. Let's make it real. And so it was heavy. We were all tired. Heavy. I left that last cave the last time. I was like, I don't ever want to go in one of those again. It was
it's true. Nutty Putty was a lot more fun when I was young, and now I'm like, no.
No spelunking.
Done.
This is not the face of a spelunker.
No.
Right? I feel you, dog.
Well, and then trying to balance what the character was like, and that's the thing about John I think that was special in there, is that he was a very thankful, grateful person in the cave. Right. He was someone he was a very religious person, and so the rescuers, when they figured that out, even though they weren't all that way, said, okay, well, this comforts him.
Right.
And so they helped him with that. And it's just really interesting to see a guy evolve. And that's where all our guys did an amazing job of balancing the beginning to end of the story of just reality, how you would feel slowly getting to know a guy as well as they did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should talk about where you can see this film and where you can follow it on the world of social media.
Yeah,
I don't know where this film's showing.
Yeah, you can go.
I mean, it's coming out in theaters this week, so the 16th, and all over Utah and some other states as well. Obviously, there's the Facebook page. You can go like and follow. I mean, they're always updating and responding to people there. I mean, there's a lot of press going on this week and everything.
Yeah, I know it's all the Larry H. Miller theaters. Up here in Park City, I think it's the right
Yeah,
here, the
like
Heritage
right here.
Theater over here, and
Fantastic.
then yeah, they keep announcing theaters every day, which is like, I just want to throw up.
Well, I
it's
chatted
grateful.
with our pal Arthur Van Wagenen last
Art.
week, and he was making some calls and getting some more theaters
Man, he's
added
killing it.
on.
He's
So
killing
for
it.
sure. So yeah, buddy Paul Tan, shout out.
Yes.
Arthur Van Wagenen, shout out. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Paul's the man.
Fellas, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, Isaac. So nice to meet you. Landon, I love you, brother. Good to see you, man. Best wishes for a great success with the film and onward. I'm sure that we'll be seeing both of your names in bright lights for years to come.
Hey.
All right, you guys, quick break. We're going to do a little bit of weather, find out if there's anything happening. Lots more from Minx, and of course, we got to chat up the Urban Arts Festival. More after this.